Hey drivers, so doing this safety video today, which is mandatory to listen to. If you are driving right now, as long as you can listen, it's all right. I don't need you to basically look at the phone, just listening. So what we're talking about is FMCSA points and what they look at as high risk behavior on the road. So basically what's the idea? FMCSA is assigning points for certain things that they think that you do are unsafe in order, to prevent big accidents and big crashes. In other words, they don't want you to kill a family in a minivan. Basically, that's exactly what they're trying to do. So these rules right here, it's nothing new. It was here for a very, very long time, since the paper log time. So it's nothing new. What I want to talk about is, to point you in the most heaviest ones. So those we're going to be making sure we avoid by all means. So I'm going to start with a regular speeding, from 6 to 10 miles per hour. So basically what that is, for something like that, they assign you 4 points of unsafe driving on FMCSA. And basically, as you know, or maybe you don't know, insurance companies are looking for you to not have more than 3 of those speedings, on your MVR basically, or on your PSP, which is basically the FMCSA points. So 3 of those, basically that's 12, 4 by 3, it's 12 points, not more than 12 points a year. That's what they look for, and that's what they allow. And again, if you have more of that, or more heavier stuff, they're looking at you at like something that's hard to insure, because just a lot of chances of you getting into a wreck. That's why. So that one's basically going to be 4 points. Now I'm going to talk also about the next one that is really, really extremely important. Seatbelt violation. 7 points on FMCSA. In other words, that seatbelt is almost like 2 speedings right away in the same time in one stop. Why? Well, a lot of fatal accidents based on their research, FMCSA research, resulted because the drivers didn't wear their seatbelt. So it doesn't matter what you're driving, a truck or a small car, they want you to have the seatbelt on. Speeding from 15 miles per hour plus, it's gonna be 10 points. So basically it's as heavy as 2.5 speedings right away. Why? Well, because when you're speeding, by the research, the faster your speed is, the more problematic is to stop a 80,000 pound truck. And those brakes technically they're thinking that you're driving on 65 miles per hour. They're not planned to stop a vehicle as heavy and as big as that in 20 or let's say 15 miles per hour plus. Basically that's the reason. The reason is that you're not going to stop on time. If you're going to see something and you need to apply your brakes and stop, you're not going to stop as fast and as short distance as on 65 miles per hour, for example. Now, cell phone is the next one. So cell phone, they do assign 10 points, is as heavy as 2.5 speedings. In other words, if you get one of those, any small little mistake after that, any small little violation is going to get you in the point of where the insurance is saying this person is no more insurable for us, is just too much liability. We can't have it, basically. So why the cell phone? Because if you're distracted, if you're watching your videos, if you're texting someone on the phone, you're just not watching the road, and then you're not gonna apply the brake pedal in the right moment, and that's definitely gonna result in a crash. And in this case, insurance is just seeing as a very, very, very high risk on the road. Now I also have over here that these points, they don't just sit on the paper. These FMCSA points are checked, well, not just by FMCSA, the companies, when they're hiring drivers, they're looking how many points this person has, and is he going by my insurance guidelines or not. Not just that, for example, if I get 2 drivers doing no seat belt, and then all of a sudden insurance goes up 10K a year after that, it's hard to put a measure on something like that, or it's hard to put a measure on something like, for example, a customer saying, no, as a company, you're just not safe. I'm not going to give you this load. Just my system is not letting me. And this is happening a lot, starting like past 5 years, something like that. Before maybe it was different, but right now customers are looking on company score and more than that on driver score as well. They might sometimes say, you know what, my loads to this driver, he cannot have them. So yeah, just a saying right here, our company does have a policy, and look, we must prevent by all means all these kind of things. We do have $75 charge per point of this violation. What I want to say right away, straight up, these violations, they shouldn't be happening in the first place. They are 100% preventable, all of it, you know. And it's basically the same as, for example, if your kid, you're giving him the car to drive, you definitely want him to not speed, you want him to wear the seatbelt, and you definitely want him to not sit on the phone. So perhaps the comparison is not really great, it's not really perfect, you know, but basically the idea of trying to protect someone is exactly the same. You know, FMCSA wants to protect you, and they are forcing the companies, they're forcing us to stay on top of this and make sure this is not happening. So again, bottom line, all 100% preventable. You know, buckle your seatbelt, keep the phone and the videos away, not while you're driving. When you stop, you can do whatever you want to, and definitely manage your speed.